ladies. Happy Monday. I am Violet De Ayala. I'm the founder of FemCity, and you're joining me today for our Monday Inspiration Series. I always love hopping in here and having beautiful guests that can share inspiration, motivation, actionable tips. You know, I'm all about action, so it's great to get inspired, but then what? Today, I have as my guest, Marsha Terry. She is one of our FemCity Global members. She is someone that I absolutely adore. She was part of our series that we did on race, and it was just beautiful. She hopped right in. I just always remember that, Marsha. Like, I was like, I want to do this. Will you do it with me? And you were like, yes, like not even really knowing. And I just, that meant so much to me because you trusted me to be a part of that. So thank you so much. And thank you so much for being here with us today as well. So can you share a little bit about yourself? Oh, there's a little bit of a delay, so I don't know what's going on with StreamYard today. Marsha, can you add a little bit about yourself for those that don't know who you are? Can you share a little bit about your background and how it's connected to the topic for today, which is all about balance?
Okay, well, I'm a registered nurse. I'm from Canada originally. I've been in the United States for almost 20 years. And I believe that as a professional person working, even though I'm now saying I'm a retired nurse, balance is really important. So my current work is one as a life coach. I like to call myself a self-awareness coach, where I inspire women to really analyze how their thoughts and their words make them feel. So that's kind of what I do.
Love it. And for those of you that are just getting to know Marsha, you will find her spirit is just so vibrant. And I think what you make everyone feel when they meet you is calm and peace and grace. I think those are like my favorite words that describe you. So thank you so much. So our theme for the month is all about balance. And it's obviously been 2020 has been the most upside down balance ever. So I wanted to start off by asking you, what does balance mean to you?
Yeah, that's a great question, because when I was thinking about what it means to me, it really means having inner peace. And so I'm also a big proponent of being transparent. The last few weeks of my life have been chaotic all over the place. And I was not balanced. So I feel like when your life is being pulled in multiple different directions, your kids, your spouse, significant other, your job, whether you're pursuing your passion, and if you feel like chaos in your world or mentally in your energy, then you're not going to feel like you're in balance. And so for the last couple of weeks, I have felt completely off kilter, chaotic, unnerved, and all of that. And I realized that I've been missing doing some really basic things in my schedule and my routine that help me stay in balance. So really, balance to me is about having inner peace. And it's the most important thing, I believe, in order to have success in life, and that's just across all areas in your life.
I love that. And I love that you mentioned all those and that you were authentic too in your response, because I think sometimes, especially when you look at a woman like yourself who's successful, who's managing different components of life, people might think, oh, she's got it all together, right? She's super balanced. So I love that you were so honest about sharing that. You know, it was like real, right? Like real life. It's not always perfect. I wanted to talk a little bit before we dive in. I know you have some great action steps for us today, but I really want those that may be watching right now and saying, I don't even know what balance feels like. So what happens in your life when you don't have balance? Like, what does it feel like? Because I want some of those that really are feeling a little bit something. They don't really know what it is. And perhaps it's balance, but I want them to connect with that aspect of chaotic senses and emotions to maybe perhaps lack of balance. So what does it feel like when we don't have balance in our lives?
I think it feels like, anxiety. It's like that unknown, that uncertainty of every single day, of every single moment when you're not sure about what's going to happen next. It's that feeling off kilter. Even I was imagining kids were, as a kid, I used to be on those seesaws, right? And the trick was to balance on the seesaw. Right? And when you're not balanced, when somebody's going up high, the other person's really down low. And I feel like that's life. If you're not in balance, and whatever that means, because it's different to everybody, is that you're kind of high, you're low, you're seesawing back and forth, and you're just trying to find that place of common. But even in achieving balance, you're kind of still teetering a little bit. It's never really steady and straight. It's just this like a little bit of wavering, but you're maintaining a certain pace even in that wavering.
Yeah, I love that because it's almost like you're saying it's a practice, almost
Yeah.
like you have to practice it every day. It's never, because I know sometimes I feel like I've attained balance and then something will happen, like the COVID thing of like pandemic, right? So life was balanced and then something will knock and then you feel like a little bit upset with yourself. But the reality is that that's part of like trying to figure out when things happen that are not planned, when things happen when you don't expect them to, that you can try to, even though you're like this for that moment, the idea is to kind of come. I love that seesaw analogy that you did share. So what are 3 ways that you have been able to find balance, whether it's during this time or through the series of launching and growing your business and your various brands and the projects that you've taken on?
Yeah, so one of the ways that I found is really steeped in my morning routine. And when I don't practice my morning routine, then my life spirals. So for the last few weeks, I haven't been practicing my morning routine and my life has been spiraling. So for me, that involves getting up in the morning early between 5 and 5:30. I exercise for about 20, 30 listen to something, or a journal, something to that effect. So that's kind of my morning routine. It takes about 30 minutes, it takes about an hour and 30 minutes. And then the next thing that I believe is really important is I'm really careful about who I surround myself with and what I'm listening to. So we were away this weekend. We took a little staycation and we were watching TV, which I don't do very often either. And I was watching this show, one of those reality shows, and I'm like, why would anybody want to subject themselves to this kind of environment? It was so negative to me and not uplifting at all. And even though these people were living out their lives on reality TV, I just felt like it's really important to protect your space and the people that you're around, because that also contributes to whether you're in balance or not. That's my opinion. And then the third thing that I do personally is I like to listen to music. So my genre is really wide. So I listen to gospel music because I grew up in church. So that's kind of my heart and my soul. But then if you get in my truck, sometimes I'm going to have Drake like really loud in my truck. So it all depends, what I'm going through and what I really need in that moment. But I just feel like you have to have a variety of different things. I don't believe there's a pill that you can take that's going to say you do these things in this order and you're going to have balance every day. No, because every day changes. It's like the seasons, they change. So you have to be able to adjust to that change also in your life.
Yeah, absolutely. The other day I did a website tutorial. It'll make you laugh. I have to work with music on, and mine goes to like meditation music. It goes to like Italian. It goes to like Brazilian. And I did the tutorial, Marsha, and I did a screen share, and on the top it had like Lizzo and all the lyrics because I had been listening to Lizzo. I was cracking up. I was like, it depends on what mood I'm in, but it always brings me joy. And I have to I'm going to add more exclamation points at what you were sharing about surrounding yourself with people that have that. And that includes what you watch. I agree. I gave up watching TV a couple years ago because I found that TV always depicted women like fighting, right? So it was like, Violet's going to steal Marsha's husband, or her job, or Marsha's going to steal Violet's, it was so much that I stopped, and because it was making me feel heavy. And that's really important to keep your energy as light as possible. The world has enough heaviness. Yes. You don't have to watch it and surround yourself with it. You have the choice. And Julieta is joining us. Hello, Julieta. So happy that you're here. All right. So, and I love to share success stories. I think that women really learn so much when we share the successes of others. Is there a success story that you have that you can share about someone who in the world of balance, right, of finding balance, and how it helped them in life or in business?
I had a client, she was in her mid to late 50s, and she was married with grown children, married for 20 plus years, worked in the banking industry, and very successful woman in her own right. And she came to me, because she wanted to have conversations surrounding health coaching. And so as we dived into coaching and our conversations, I really like to call them conversations because that's what they are. The discovery was for her that health was it's about eating food, but it was less about eating food and more about what she was feeding her mind. And she found that through the journey of our conversations that she felt better about herself, about the possibilities that she could have in her life because of, she changed, number one, the dialogue in her head and the words that she was saying. So I believe that those things tie into how you have balance in your life. Because of that, now she was able to go out and feel empowered, and she got a new job, and she just, had a better relationship with her spouse and her kids and that kind of thing. But she also felt very secure in who she was, even more so, even though she was an accomplished female. So I believe that the conversations start in our mind with balance, like a lot of things do. And, as long as you are really seeking to, I think, improve yourself and seeking to learn how you can achieve balance and be spontaneous a little bit. So some things, like I said, may work today. It might not work tomorrow, but don't be so rigid in your quest of this has got to be in this place in this order all the time, because then that, of course, will stress you out too. And then you're not going to have balance. So that's what I found with my clients.
I love that. And that's something that we can all learn from. So that's an applicable story to everyone. Final advice that you have for those that are looking, and we get it. We're doing this class because we know it's a tough time, right? So it's tough to find balance during these. Every day it's something new. I find. A final advice that you have for those that are really looking to start practicing the mode of being balanced, not balanced, more balanced. That we add the understatement of it has to be a practice. It has to be, kind of like that ebb and flow.
It does have to be a practice. And I believe that, over the last few years, I've been on my own personal journey of balance and mastery and just in different areas of my life. And I've written an e-workbook. And it is something that I believe and it relates to being masterful. It's called Masterful Morning. And I believe that, like I said earlier, there are elements that are necessary elements that you should do in the morning. And it doesn't really matter the order, but I believe it's important that you do these things in the morning. And calm in your morning, then that really extends throughout your whole entire day. But if you wake up and you're like in this flurry and you've got kids going one direction, a significant other in another, email blowing up, text messages, like where in that space do you find time for yourself? And so my morning, I've learned how to protect it. It's very valuable to me. Like, do not come in my morning space, that kind of thing. Because I feel like if I can just, when I'm able to hold on to that morning power hour, if you will, then my whole day is better. And even though I may have challenges throughout my day, I'm always able to be reflective on, this meditation, or why I felt really good about my exercise, or when I was writing in my journal this morning, I wrote X, Y, and Z. So I just really believe that if you start with your morning routine and your morning ritual, just start there. And, then look to see and evaluate like what works for you, and then look to see how you feel throughout the rest of your day. And then after 7 days, evaluate how you're feeling after the whole entire week. Yeah. So if you want to download the ebook, you can go to marshaterry.com, and it's a free ebook. It's a free resource for anybody to utilize. And I just put it together because I felt like it was necessary for people to have some kind of guidance and direction in their life, because I found these things helped me, and I just wanted to share it with other people.
I love that. And I have to say, the morning routine for the longest time, I don't know why. Well, I know my first really successful business was a Pilates studio, and I used to teach the 6 a.m. class. And that was in North Carolina, and sometimes it was snowing. And I did that for 10 years. It was a 6 a.m. class, and then I'd go back and teach at 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock, and then I'd go back at night. And even then, I had some sort of morning. I had to. So I love that you shared the time you wake up in the morning, because I believe a lot of people would be listening and saying, well, I don't have time to start my morning off with intention, which is what you're really saying. You're intentional and purposeful in that morning, dictating the way that your energy and the harmony will be throughout that day.
Yes.
And so if you're saying to yourself, I don't have time, right? We get it, but if you wake up a little early, which sounds crazy, 5 a.m., is that what you said? You wake up 5 a.m.?
Anywhere between 5 and 5:30. Yeah.
I mean, yeah. And I think I've actually read articles on successful people, and that seems to be the sweet spot of when most of them, I don't wake up at 5 a.m. I wake up like 6:30, 7 o'clock, but that's how they start the routine, whether it's they go to yoga class or they do their meditation or they go for their run. That has been, I have seen that more and more often written in magazines and articles about success and kind of their practice. And I love that you shared that, because I think a lot of people would be like, well, I just don't have time, but really just wake up an hour before. Do you remember when Oprah was starting to get in shape? I think it was before OWN channel, but she was running slowly Oprah Winfrey Show, and she started getting in shape, and she was running like at 5 a.m. I don't know if you remember that. And she would share that. And I was like, man, if Oprah has time to work out, like I should have time to work out.
I just think, you know, and I'm a entrepreneur. My husband and I, we operate a business. I have 2 kids. We do other things. My life is very busy. So sleeping in is ideal for me. But I realize that in order for me to be productive, in order for me to be happy with me and to love me, I have to get up at 7 or at 5 o'clock in the morning or 5:30. And I used to be the person that says, I don't have time. I can't do that. Like, I am not a morning person. Like, I used to say those words all the time. And because I said those words, then that's what I became, not a morning person. But when I changed that language and I started to embrace, like, yeah, I love getting up in the morning, or, you know, I get up easily with my alarm, or whatever those words might be for you, then I found myself shifting. And so when my alarm goes off in the morning, it's not this big struggle, because I actually look forward to the time that I work out by myself. There's nobody talking to me. It's just me by myself in my little zone. And it's a good space to be in. So I will gladly get up in the morning to do that. That's my
love that. Yeah. I love that. And by the way, you look extra beautiful today. You always look beautiful, but you look extra beautiful today. So I am, whatever you hair. I was going to say, I love the hair. That is my favorite Marsha hair.
Thank you, Violet.
I've known you for so many years, so I've seen different hairstyles. I'm extremely creative. So for those of you that just got a chance to learn about Marsha, you can see why I adore her so much. She is actually one of our members, global member, but also lives in South Texas, and she's super involved. When she says she's involved, she's super involved. She's like doing a whole bunch of philanthropic and activities in her city. So thank you so much, Marsha, for inspiring us today and helping us to find more balance in our life. I honor and adore you. Thank you.
No, thank you. I appreciate the opportunity to be here. Anytime you call me, I will be here if I can be. Thank you so much.
I'll call you later.
Thanks, Violet.
Bye, everyone. See you next Monday.
Bye, everybody.